I know you like being fashionably late, Belmont, but 2 seconds before the stream starts,
Totally.
That's on
that's pretty.
time.
That's perfect timing.
Holy shit!
I'm serious, man. I tell you, here's sideways in the parking lot. I'm here. I'm here. You know.
Right. That's exactly what it is.
All right. Well, I think Odin Dasko is supposed to be in the comments over there. I sure we're gonna roast him if he shows up. But anyway, I gave my word. I gave my word. So we'll have to do that. So, gentlemen, what's going on in the world today? You guys got anything you want to talk about? The world's your oyster. Well, the high stream is come. How many episodes in are you, Belmont?
We just did our 5th episode last week.
Last week, 5th episode. Oh, okay. I think Aaron was your guest, was he not?
I don't think so. I don't remember that. I remember
he wasn't coherent.
Well, I think he had Aaron. What's his name? The Shadow something other. What? Call him. And you had Lola and you had Anthony from
Dark Gift.
Dark Gift, not Shadow. Dark Gift. Okay. So many darks and shadows around here.
I know that's how it is.
Whoa! What?
What happened to Shadow Matt? Get him in here.
I know.
And by the way, my name is Matt, and then I also have Shadow Punk.
Oh, okay.
So it never ends.
We have a Shadow
Not
Matt.
to be confused with Shadow Matt.
It never ends.
It's Shadow Punk Matt. Okay. Funny how that works out. Anyway. Oh, goodness.
Small world.
It is. It's a small world. Yeah. So, there's been a lot of stuff going on lately on the on Twitter. Just a few people like butting heads and stuff.
Oh, is that right?
Usual Twitter drama. Yeah, I don't know. I've been asleep all day. Oh, here we go. And hey, fellas, wearing thicker than normal skin suit just in case.
Oh no.
Yeah, he said he's working today. I'm not entirely sure what working means, but he's working right now. So,
hey, you never know, right? Who knows what he's doing, right? He could be lifting lumber or
I don't know,
or whatever, or in his car sitting around, right?
It could have a body in the trunk for the mob. I don't know.
Totally, that's probably what it is, you know.
Yeah, that's a lot of work, man. You have to go and find a rural area with soft soil and dig the hole deep enough. And
how do you know so much about this?
I watch movies. I watch mobster movies. Okay?
Did you
Yeah,
did you
movies.
watch
Okay.
Sopranos?
Put a T in front of work and that pays the twerk. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, well, we have a bad history with twerking around here.
Yeah.
Oh no.
The he who shall not be named. That
The N-word.
Interesting. Yeah, the N-word.
Who's this?
Let's just say a former member of the Genesis crew did it on a live stream, and then got a little upset when we were joking about it, and it's like, come on, man.
We're gonna do it live.
Do it live.
Oh shit!
Someone watched Casino. Yes, that's the movie. That's the movie I watched that I learned that from. Yeah, that one. That's the one. Yeah. No previous experience whatsoever with the red clay, high acidic content of the North Carolina soil. No idea. Anyway, what was the comment you were making, Shadow Punk?
Well, I'll say, did you watch Sopranos?
Because
they have Sopranos. They had a lot.
Sopranos, yeah.
They had a lot of bodies.
I
They
watched
had to,
some of it,
but
I
they
watched
buried
some
it,
of
and then they buried it. Hey, you remember that guy? And then 10 years ago, that was my first. And then they had to go dig the body up on the farm, but they didn't know where they put the body. Right. So there's that whole like problematic issue of the body, the Jimmy Hoffa body.
Well,
I don't care how long it's been. You gotta dig it back up.
Dig it back up. That's gotta be fucking gross, man. Big time.
yeah, pretty much. They searched the meadowlands for did like a ground scan radar of the meadowlands before they tore it down. See if they could find his body.
Oh, Jimmy Hoffa?
Yeah, it was reputed that he was shoved into like the foundation of the meadowlands.
I heard that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the rumor, but they side scanned the whole entire area and they never found anything. Somebody that was a hitman, I think, admitted that they took the car that he was tossed him in the trunk, took the car to a car crusher, crushed it like multiple times till it was about the size of a paperweight, and it's like a planter in the back of somebody's yard somewhere.
Well, I grew up here in the Detroit area, and my stepdad was an old school union guy.
Oh,
and so he knew a lot of people who knew. He grew up in the south end of Dearborn, which is big time union at that time, and he knew people that knew what happened to him. And the guys he knew were not. They're not the kind of guys you wanted to hang out with, right? But my stepdad would go to these underground card games once in a while, and that's how we kind of became connected. And he told me that the body is not like the body is like obliterated. It was something like it was either burned or it was chopped to pieces and burned. Yeah. But I mean, these guys it's gone.
Yeah, Mr. Dasco says shallow grave, 3 leaves and a twig, no one's the wiser.
What if he's alive and it was all a big scam and he's like in Mexico somewhere or Brazil or something?
Well, I'll tell you something. No. He had a pretty big personality, right? That guy, you could not keep him down no matter what. And, you know, the idea that he could be alive, it's possible, but it's so small because, I mean, this guy, literally, he'd have to, even fearing for his life wouldn't stop him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, he was attention whore the first mark. You know, there's no way that guy stays hidden. Now Elvis is entirely possible because Elvis, you know, wanted to get away from everybody, so it was entirely possible Elvis could have gone underground. But
now he's the groundskeeper at whatever the hell it's called, Graceland.
Graceland.
Right. Yeah. Never been happier as a groundskeeper, right?
Right.
He goes home and nobody bugs him, and
I can't remember what comedian said it, but it's like, I went to Graceland and they got Elvis buried in the backyard like the dog.
Was it Eddie Griffin? I don't know.
I can't remember which comedian.
What happened to Eddie Griffin? I haven't heard that guy's name in a long time.
Yeah, he kind of went underground. But they say, sucker's buried in the backyard like the dog, man. Oh yeah, Bubba Hotep was a documentary.
You know, sometimes they put those truths, they trickle them into movies, and so you go, you know, that's kind of just a movie about whatever, but they do that, you know. So I mean, who knows what the truth is, right? Yeah,
that's true. Like I've heard some like really interesting theories about the Zapruder tape of JFK's getting shot.
Yeah.
That
I think I was the one that told you.
Yeah, with Lyndon, man. Lyndon did it.
Yeah, I forgot. Shadowpunk's the one that told me. Go ahead, man.
Well, real short, the theory is my personal theory, because I've done compositing of video, and I've done like, hey, take this piece out of the video and replace it with something else. I've done a shitload of that stuff. Yeah. So my theory is that every person on the curb that's the curb and the people that stand on the curb, that's all one layer that they cut out, right? And then the other part, so that this way, if you watch the movie, the car, right before he goes behind the freeway sign, there's it's like a glitch in the film.
Yeah.
You'll see it.
I remember.
Right? That is where they go from the normal film to the one where they're going to cut the car out and move it down and slide it. And that's why, because they have to take out the fact that the driver stopped the car. Because the driver stopped the car so they can get the headshot. Right.
Okay.
So when you watch it, the car never does stop.
Right.
But that's why they did it. And the real kicker of the whole thing is that I personally don't believe that Zapruder he couldn't have taken that film. Because if he was taking it with his camera, it would already be moving, right? Bouncing around a little bit. So when you did the compositing work on the film, that would be horrible. You can't have that movement. You have to have it locked down. And then at the end, when you do all your work and you're done, then you put the bobble and and that's what I think that they did. So you can't trust anything in there. So
No.
Right. We got Hail chat from Tarks9. Hail Tarks9.
What's up, Tarks9?
Tarks.
So I heard another theory about the moon landing video.
That's fake.
I've heard this. Let's hear it.
Oh, Belmont's onto this. Okay. But his theory was Neil Armstrong, that those words had to be handcrafted by a writer because, if Neil Armstrong was that pithy and that much of a speaker, then why in the world was he not doing speeches thereafter? Why didn't he go try it for Congress like John Glenn did, but he that's the only thing we even know that he's even said, He's like, okay, that was too perfect. It was too well rehearsed, and there's no way that a guy come up with that just off the cuff and not off of spur of the moment. That was
I don't
way
know. I
too
do.
workshopped, So that's an interesting theory I heard about that one.
I'll show you something if I get a chance here, if I can find it.
Okay. Well, if you find it,
There's a lot of evidence that it never happened in 1969. That the actual astronauts just went into orbit and orbited around Earth and never went and landed on the moon. We could probably get to the moon, but the problem is getting off the moon and getting the astronauts back to Earth is the issue.
Yeah.
So what happened with Apollo 13 then?
Apollo 13.
The one
I don't think anybody's ever landed. I don't know which mission, if they actually even did land on the moon. We can't even answer simple questions like how do we protect the astronauts from radiation and just simple questions, that people ask. And NASA doesn't even have an answer for that.
Okay.
How much
You got to watch a special about it. What?
How much radiation is on the moon?
I don't know. Well, it's in space. I don't think just
So
on the moon.
you're what you're saying is you're unprotected from the sun's radiation, right?
Yeah.
These suits wouldn't really protect them, and they didn't have simple questions they were asked, and they wouldn't even answer them. They had a discussion about it. And this guy was writing a book about the moon landing, was really interested in it. He really thought that it happened, and after researching it and studying it, he realized that it was complete fraud.
Nah.
I think it is. I wouldn't have believed it.
You use your mic, Satterpunt.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No
Yeah, I believe it. I wouldn't have believed it until I got older and started noticing some shit. You're like, this is kind of fucked up. If you watch the movie The Shining, this is one of the things that Stanley Kubrick is trying to tell you. He puts all these clues in the movie multiple ways. One of them is that he has the Apollo 11 shirt. The kid has the Apollo 11 shirt. Another one, and this is more subtle, but do you remember the movie?
Shining? Yeah.
Okay, so there's a scene when they get there and they bring the kid into the gold room, and he says, "Hey, Danny, you've been bombing the universe," or something like that. And the people in the background are fixing up the gold room for the winter, right?
Uh-huh.
So in the gold room, there is a ladder which makes an A shape,
Ah,
right? And behind him,
Really?
I can show you actually.
Yeah, if you got a picture of it.
Okay.
So you basically saying that he put clues in his movie proving that he had a help in creating that landing video? Is that what you're
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
mhm.
I never heard this theory, but I've heard lots of
So
others.
there's a whole lot more about The Shining that I'm not going to go into, but this is one of the themes he has running in through the movie. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Hold
you
on.
see these? You see these two shapes?
Uh-huh.
They're like indentions in the wall, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's an A and there's a 1-1.
I don't
Okay.
see a 1-1. Wait, what?
The ladder is
Yeah,
the
yeah.
A,
Okay, I see the
and then
ones
the
then.
columns are the 1-1.
So
Okay.
the film grab doesn't capture everything. Like if there's a point in where it's more obvious. This is just one I found. So okay, so I don't want to totally get into it, but I'll let you figure out what I'm telling you. So in the movie, this is the gold room, and Kubrick had it painted silver first and then gold.
Oh.
And it
Okay.
pissed everybody off when they were making the movie.
Yeah.
So these shapes right here, you see how the shapes are round on top?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if you cut it off like right here,
Ah.
right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so during the scene when Jack comes in there and all the people, their ghosts, are inside the ballroom having a party, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
So he is telling you, this is what Kubrick is actually telling. I'm saying I believe it, but this is what he's trying to tell you. He's trying to tell you that these two shapes look like the Ten Commandment shapes,
Right. Yeah.
right? It'd be like a plaque here and a plaque here, and the Jews are the people that are playing the music that everybody dances to. And over here is another layer where there's a man behind a curtain, like the Wizard of Oz. Right? He's got these ideas. He's trying to put them in there, and it's like kooky, crazy stuff. And I'm telling you, dude, there's so much depth in his movies. And
Oh yeah, he was psychotic when it came to detail. That's why it drives people nuts.
Wait, how did
on his
Kubrick
films.
die? Wouldn't you think that on his deathbed he would tell his family that he created that film and we never landed on the moon? You think he would have came out with that information on his deathbed, unless he just died in the middle of the night? I'm not sure how he died.
he died of a heart attack
Oh, okay.
as he was finishing Eyes Wide Shut.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
people think that they killed him because he was revealing Eyes Wide Shut's about this elite society that controls the world.
Yeah.
And so, I don't think so. I mean, if you look at the guy before he died, he was a chain smoker, and he looked like shit.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's one of the things they do is they kill people with a heart attack or cancer, right? And you go, well, the guy smoked for 40 years; he must have died of cancer.
Or a single shot suicide in the
Yes.
middle on a deserted highway somewhere when they just had a fiance, that just got
I heard
married
there was a
and
thing
were
called the
happily
heart attack gun that the CIA had some kind
They
of.
have that. Yep, they have that.
Yeah, it's it causes air embolism.
They had a thing in front of Congress.
Here.
Yeah, they had a thing in front of Congress in the 70s where they showed that heart attack gun.
Really?
I mean, granted,
Right.
they could hold it up and say this is a heart attack gun, and maybe it is and maybe it isn't, right?
Yeah.
The levels of bullshit are deep, but
Right.
and and I think the idea was during the Cold War is the Soviets and the Americans wanted ways to kill people that were undetectable.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, the idea that you would have a heart attack gun does kind of make sense.
That's about the time they did the experiments with the ice bullet.
Right? That's crazy shit because it dissolves.
Yeah, right. So I hear. Anyway, Buzz Aldrin killed
fucking
Kubrick.
killed.
He did. Buzz Aldrin did kill Kubrick.
Yeah, good one, Odin. Yeah, good one.
I think none of the astronauts would actually put their hands on a Bible and swear that they ever landed on the moon and were there.
Oh, really? Wow.
No, yeah, you're right. One of them wouldn't, right? Or was it
Or I think a bunch of them wouldn't. I don't think anybody has.
Well, the reason the flag is flowing in space, I can answer that, is because the flag was made out of aluminum, and it was built to look like it was flowing. So
Right.
Did you see that one image where it's like shows the visor of the astronaut and the reflection in the visor shows like a guy standing in jeans wearing a leather jacket?
no, I didn't see that one.
Well,
I
that
didn't see that
I
one.
mean, that's like probably the truth, actually. But someone probably made that, right? Because they would never let that get out.
I don't know.
No.
It looks legit, but you don't know.
It's crazy shit, man. That's the thing. I mean, all you know is that you don't know, and the fact that you
Yeah.
don't know proves
I think
that shit's going on.
I think NASA
Okay,
claims that it's just not there. That you're just seeing things. It's not a guy standing there with jeans and a jacket. It's just looks that way.
Oh, really?
Statistical Zero says could have sworn it was AI that he was working on. That was Steven Spielberg. Statistical.
That movie came out in
And
like 2000.
Greasers
No,
from
no,
the
that's
Moon.
not. No, he's wrong. No, Kubrick wrote AI, and then he gave it to Kubrick to direct.
Oh, it gave it to Spielberg to direct. Okay.
'Cause-
Gotcha.
I don't know why that is, because I don't actually think it's that great of a movie, and I think
No, it's a really odd movie. It has a tonal shift that's just really, really, really strange. About I watched it one time and that was enough for me. But
I liked it.
okay, well there
such
you
a
go.
long time ago.
I want to be a real boy.
Right. Pinocchio.
Well, Haley Joel Osment's like one of the best child actors I've ever seen.
Right.
You know,
He was
and
good.
the fact
Yeah,
he
he
just
was
like
genius.
up and quit the industry. I mean, I'm sure he's burned out, but he was awesome kid.
So
Um,
if you ever wanted me to tell you what 2001 is actually about, you let me know, because I can tell you what it's really about. But you have to tell it to people that really want to know, because otherwise it's like people gloss over, and it's like if you don't really want to know, but it's fucking crazy.
Well, it's pretty close to Arthur C. Clarke's book, I believe.
It is not.
It
is
is
not
not?
what. Totally different. And
Totally different.
what Kubrick
okay.
did is he owned the rights, so that he could make the movie. He had 100% control, and he had control over the book that Clark wrote. And he was never going to let the book tell you what movie's about. So he made sure that Clark wrote a book about aliens or something. And it's not about aliens.
It's not about aliens.
It is not about aliens.
Dang.
Well, the How 2000 stuff is a little odd.
What makes you say that?
Well, because it's not really clear if How 2000 is like operating off his own impetus or if he's operating off of programming, and
Right.
because he's really strange. There's a real strange kind of protectiveness that he has for the lead character that he doesn't have for everybody else. It's almost like he's, for some reason he's like isolating the lead character, and it's very deliberate everything he's doing. Killing off everybody else. And
well, I'll tell you something. If you've looked at it that much, you let me know when you want me to tell you, and then I'll tell you. And you will. By the way, when you know, you're gonna watch it again. You'll go fuck.
I've actually watched the sequel more than I watched the original.
Right.
So.
You'll find out why the original is 1,000 times better. And it's
okay.
how those those old the posters that were made of dots, and that you had to see the sailboat.
Yeah.
That's how this works.
Oh, okay. So it's like a Seurat painting, basically.
Well, the way that he layered the movie is it's layered in doublespeak and imagery, so that on the surface, the people who paid for the movie, say Warner Brothers or whatever,
right.
they're like, oh, that's cool, that's space and that's rockets and and aliens or something, right? Robots. But so that way he could put whatever he wanted in the movie,
right?
And they would never. They're too stupid to figure it out. Right, because Kubrick, we're normal people, right? But Kubrick was like, he had a whole level of he thought that people loved the idea that a puzzle was fun to figure out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so he made it. The movies, all of his movies are like this.
Full Metal Jacket.
Full Metal Jacket
is on the nose.
Well, I'll give you a hint. There's in the Full Metal Jacket. There's a scene
Uh-huh.
where his buddy was named Cowboy,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and so at one point they go in those ruins, and there's a sniper taking them out,
Yep.
and the sniper takes out Cowboy, and behind Cowboy, while he's dying, is the monolith from 2001 on fire,
Really?
and the guy's name is Cowboy.
Uh-huh.
And the monolith, okay, I'll tell you a super small amount. So
Okay.
before Kennedy was killed,
Uh-huh.
he gave a speech to the press, and he said, there's a monolithic, ruthless conspiracy that's taken over the world.
Yep.
Okay, a monolithic, ruthless conspiracy. And he describes it. And then at the end, he tells the press, he said, I need your help to inform the American people that this is actually happening. So the
Right.
monolith represents that conspiracy.
Oh, okay.
And throughout 2001, he's telling, in so many different ways, Kubrick is telling you to rotate. Rotate. Do you remember on the moon, there's a guy with a camera taking photos, and every time he takes a photo, he clicks it, and he goes like this. Click.
Yeah.
Okay. So many ways he's telling you to rotate. Kubrick wants you to rotate the monolith. And the reason why he wants to rotate the monolith is because it matches the dimensions of the screen you're watching.
Okay.
Because part of the conspiracy is that they're going to use the things that we're watching right now to control our perception.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the movie, Dave realizes this because trying to figure out why would hell try to kill me,
Yeah.
right? He realizes he's part of a movie of events that are fake, that they're going to kill them, and then one day they're going to say, hey, we found aliens on the moon, when it's fucking bullshit,
Okay.
right? And
Well, one thing about it, when they remastered it and brought that out after Kubrick passed away, there was a bunch of people that were like sounding the alarm that the movie was drastically changed or
Really?
something altered. I remember that happening when it came out. It's like, oh, this ain't the same movie. They changed this, and this, and they did like a shot by shot, like, this is they altered this, they altered this, they altered this.
I never heard that
So-
before.
Me either.
Yeah, look that up. I remember there was like a big controversy around that when he remastered it
To make it
So,
better, right? That's why they did
Yeah,
it.
to
Right.
make it better. Yeah, you're going to improve on Kubrick. Yeah, okay.
Mm.
Did you guys notice that during the beginning of COVID, the thing called COVID, that you could see monoliths pop up around the world, and they have.
Oh yeah, I
photos
remember
of-
that.
Right, that's why. Because that is part of the ruthless conspiracy that he was talking about.
Right.
Clockwork
Yeah,
Orange is still my favorite Kubrick film.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I know where this is going. Once you know, you can unsee it. Watching it again is so obvious.
It is, man. Even the guys, like the astronauts, are like they're in the ship, in their little ship, in their astronaut suits, and
Mhm.
they're talking about how fake the food is. But it tastes just like chicken. It tastes just like ham, and they're like, it's just fake, but it tastes so good. Like,
Yeah.
he's telling you, shit's fake.
Right.
And
Right.
and so it's like you got to live on a different dimension to think that way, Dr. Strangelove, and he was making Dr. Strangelove when they killed Kennedy, and he stopped his and that was a movie right before 2001.
Ah, right.
I still
So-
never
Right.
watched that film, Doctor Strangelove. Isn't
That's a
that black
good
and
movie.
white?
Black and white.
Yeah, it's black and white. Yeah.
There's no fighting in the war room, right?
Well, I'm usually a Peter Sellers completist, but to be honest, I've never made it through Doctor Strangelove. Yeah.
Well, the one guy who's a crazy army guy who sets the whole thing off, his name is
Yeah.
Jack T. Ripper.
Right. Yeah.
Jack
I remember
T.
that.
Ripper.
Jack T. Ripper. Yeah.
That's
yeah,
original.
Well, I think he's just trying to, like layer it up. So, and people still don't really get the idea that that's all crazy,
Yeah. Right. Right. Well, I mean, Yeah, he was such a perfectionist that I mean, yeah, the stuff he did to his leading lady in The Shining, that's
Right.
it's a little hard to see him as any kind of hero, when you abuse somebody like that just to get her to scream right, you know.
Well, she did a fantastic job. She's
Yeah,
amazing in
well,
that movie. I mean, I fucking believe it, right? Um,
uh,
when she comes around, yeah, that's right. Vital was a precious bodily fluids.
right,
That's what he
right.
called them. But yeah, I mean, she's great in the movie, and the kid who played Danny, he was in
Yeah.
the remake, not the remake, but the Doctor Sleep.
Oh, really? I didn't
Oh,
know
he
that.
was.
Yeah, he was. There's a kid that played baseball that they killed
Yeah.
in the Belmont. You know what I'm talking about?
Only played baseball. They killed-
There's a little
Yeah,
kid.
they killed the kid that played baseball.
in the new one, in the
Yeah,
one
Doctor
the
you're
Doctor
Sleep.
talking
Yeah.
about,
Sleep. Doctor
Doctor.
Sleep.
I didn't watch it. My wife was watching it, and I watched a little bit of it, and I really couldn't get into it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I read the book, so I'm familiar with it. I didn't watch the movie though.
So in the stands, there's two guys talking, and one guy says it's like he knows. It's like the kid knows what pitch he's gonna throw, and then the other guy says something like yeah, every time he hits it, right? And the second guy is Danny.
Ah,
Right.
right.
You can see it
What's
in
he
his
like
face.
50 now?
Yeah, he looks like us or something.
Yeah.
He looks totally normal and
Right. Well, yeah. Hold on 1 second. Now you're following me around. Good to see you, of course. Okay, 80s made. I didn't
What's up,
see Doctor
80s?
Sleep, but love The Shining and love is more knowing that Stephen King wasn't a fan.
totally.
Well, Doctor Sleep is a good example of the way Stephen King his writing has drifted. The way his politics has leaked into his writing because Doctor
Oh,
Sleep basically sidelines Danny Torrance in his own book and
what?
makes a Supergirl basically.
She is. She is a Supergirl.
She's the greatest shining that has ever shined. She's a uber mensch, basically, and Danny Torrance is basically like a bit player in his own movie because there's this really great aspect that Danny goes through rehab and gets himself clean, and he's like helping these people that are about to pass away, and there's this cat that you know visits these people's rooms. It's based on a real cat that actually did this. But and he would go in and help him to the other side. And then they introduce like this weird, cadre of vampiric people that are killing people that are shining or whatever. But yeah, this girl, and then later on it turns out that this girl is like an actual granddaughter of his father who like slept around, and but you find out later. But she's like the greatest shining that has ever shined, and she's just sparkling, bright, and basically Danny's like just a vessel that she uses to win the day or whatever, and
Well, the thing that was
I read the
strange.
book and it was just like I was just like, way to just completely totally destroy your own IP. I mean, it was just it because it's like there was a good book in there about Danny Torrance, okay, but then it's like he shoehorned in this other super little girl,
Right.
because he's got like this whole thing about super psychic girls all through his fiction, but he just shoehorns her in there, basically puts Carrie into it, but but uh but you're like if it was if this book was just about Danny, if he'd like toned her power down and made Danny more powerful, allowed Danny to be like the most powerful shining that there was, like he was told he was in the first book, uh that then it would have been a good book, except he's like he just couldn't have a white cis male as the lead in his book. He just
So he went woke.
couldn't let that happen. What's that?
He went woke.
He did.
Yeah. Oh, he's been woke all along. It's just like you didn't see it in his books up till about 20 years ago or something. It's like there was like this. I don't know if it was when he got sober or whatever, but
He
When it
bought
comes
somewhere
into
along the
game.
lines he just started like just seeding his books with his politics.
Well, it's
That's-
like it's someone like like Bruce Springsteen and like Stephen King. It's like
Yeah.
they buy into this whole left wing agenda, and they're
Yeah.
in huge. They're like, and they also it feeds their ego. I mean, I'm sure Stephen King believes that he is going to preach to us about his point of view. Rebecca Ferguson is hot in that movie. She's hot in every movie.
I think that's the reason I didn't check it out. Yeah. Odd take on Kubrick, the moon, Disney, all tied together.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I can't stand. I mean, I can't stand people like that though, because I mean, they have gone back on everything that they claim to have stood for. As their party has shifted corporate, as their party has shifted into big government and oppressing the smaller man or whatever, the things that they supposedly were fighting for or whatever, the boss of the little man. I speak for the little man, but
Right.
I'm going to cancel a concert in North Carolina and put all these people out of work because I didn't like the bathroom bill. Which
Right.
was, by the way, protecting little girls from big hairy men walking in the locker room. There was no restrictions on that bill. It was passed in Charlotte, and there was no restrictions on that bill to how old a man could be to walk, or if the man had to be even transitioning. He just had to declare that he was a woman.
Wow.
Just throw on a wig and go in there.
Yeah.
Well, come on,
Yeah,
they would never do that, right? They would never. Nobody would do
Oh,
that.
oh, right, exactly.
You know?
And when North Carolina blocked it, they got rid of the governor that blocked it, and they basically held the Senate, the North Carolina Senate, at hostage until they caved and passed the
Really?
modified form of it.
I didn't know
Oh
that.
yeah, they withheld the ACC tournament. They withheld the all sorts of stuff. These people refused to come and do concerts in North Carolina, and then the state was losing revenue hand over fist because we're actually a big tourist state, and so they caved. The movies they declared they weren't going to make movies here until they did something.
I remember.
And,
I remember that about Georgia. I guess I'm not sure if I remember the North Carolina.
Well, I mean, it was more low key what they did in North Carolina. They were more obvious about it in Georgia, but they did the same thing to North Carolina. But Georgia didn't cave like North Carolina did.
I see.
North Carolina caved right away. I mean,
Well, North Carolina is. I mean, let's face it. It's a little bit slightly more liberal. Georgia's a lot more conservative. Part of me. I don't know how you guys think, but I would rather. Part of me thinks I would rather have a governor who's a psycho like Gretchen Whitmer. At least she's a psycho, and and that way you know where the fight is, right? But if you have somebody who's a total scumbag liar who pretends he's not that, and then he really is that, then people don't see it coming.
our present governor, guess where he did all his fundraising?
I don't
New York City.
really.
Strange.
Yeah.
So the big rich
Yep.
New Yorkers.
He
paid him?
never campaigned in North Carolina once. There were no posters of him up at the voting site that I was at. No posters. There was no stickers. There's no signs in the yard, and he won going away.
Wow.
And the administration declined
Opposition.
Yeah, well, the opposition he caved. He just completely caved. He rolled over, and didn't ask for a recount or anything, or didn't even point out how suspicious it was. Because Trump won North Carolina, but the governor, this Democratic governor who everybody despises, won going away, and nobody batted an eye.
I would not be surprised. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Nothing. I just said no biggie.
Well,
Well, yeah,
I would not be surprised that a lot of these races that are like what you just described are all fucking fixed, right? And
Yeah.
by the way, if you can't, even if you have scientific data, they're still not going to do anything about it, right? Because
No.
what are you going to do, Cooper? You have no recourse at all, right?
no. We were all like, one of my local legislator goes to my church,
Okay.
and I mean, I was like, what is going on here? I mean, I was like, that there ain't no way that guy won this state. There's no way. And he's like, well, we have to like have a 2/10 the majority to call the legislature back into, session. So, to even dispute all this. And I was like, are you kidding me? It's like, so you guys aren't in legislature is not like active during a vote, a presidential vote. You guys aren't even active. That doesn't make sense to me at all, but they refused to go back into session to even dispute anything. And oh, by the way, the sucker shut us down the next year. I started putting all these restrictions on us the next year. I mean,
there for about a decade they've had a movement in the country for the Convention of the States, right? And the idea would be that you would modify the existing constitution, and the states legislatures would be the ones to do it. And the theory is that the state legislatures are way more conservative than the Congress.
Oh, they are. They are.
But the thing is, though, you just described the reason why we can't really trust them.
No.
Because you can't. Because what appears to be okay is not okay, and they're just fucking liars.
Well, I mean, we're really living in a monoparty right now.
Totally.
I mean, we just are.
Republicans.
Yep. Every president is related by blood. It's been a long claim that presidents are selected. Well, I don't think Donald Trump was selected.
No, but
and that's why they hated them so much.
That's why they hated him so much. I think the system actually worked for once, and so they said about making sure it would never happen again.
It was a fluke.
I think the theory that the American people, us included, by the way, on different levels, are deluded about a lot of things. For example, a lot of people wouldn't believe that the elections are rigged, right?
Right.
And so you kind of got to show people how bad this is. And you got to show how bad the agenda is that they're going to push forward. And, I don't want to go through this process, but it seems like there's a lot of people that need to see what's going to happen before they do anything about it.
He is still related to Hillary and every other president. Okay, well.
I didn't know that.
Well, I mean, they might be related, but he certainly ruined a lot of their agenda. And they certainly destroyed him as much as they could, and they're still going after him. So
it could be theater, because there's no way to know.
Well, I mean, there really isn't. But I'm gonna say that if he's one of them, he's got me fooled. Right. I mean, I know the stuff about the Bilderberg group. I know about the conference in Belgium over there. I mean, I know about this stuff going on, but
Bohemian Grove,
yeah, or the World Economic Conference. That one,
right?
I mean, they're doing it in plain sight. I mean, everybody knows what's going on. But
my theory is that when your average Democrat is screaming at the television, because things are so messed up, this doesn't make sense. Then that's the time. My theory is that that's the time when the election, all the data we have on the election will then become relevant. And they're not going to listen to it at all because the timing has to be right. You have to get those people to see more truth, and you can't do it unless they come to that conclusion themselves.
Well, see, Fox News and Newsmax has refused to talk about 2,000
mules. Yeah,
I'm sure
they refused to talk about it. I mean,
because there's two different kinds of Republicans, Bunny. There's establishment Republicans, which is the same thing as the Democrats. and then there's
Right.
this new so-called new Republican Party that Trump
Yeah,
created.
ultra mega, yeah.
Right.
Ultra MAGA, yeah.
They
Which
hate us. They hate it, by the
dig.
way.
I
They
dig
hate
it. I dig it, man.
they when they describe, if you watch like left wing media,
Yeah.
they will describe that. They'll say this Trump Republican thing, and they'll describe it like it's quasi terrorism, right?
Oh, I know.
And
I
they'll
know,
say something
I
like
know.
even Mitt Romney hates him, and like yeah,
Yeah.
we fucking hate Mitt Romney. So good, you know, that guy can go to
Rhino.
hell.
Romney.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, totally.
All right, Vince is like calling it, bro. This is some heavy stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's change the
Yeah, let's change the tone a
dial.
little bit. Well, that's what happens when you let conspiracy theorists on your show. Goodness
Totally,
gracious.
man. We're all
Yeah.
conspiracy theorists.
I'll talk forever on this shit.
How dare we think for ourselves?
Don't get me started on 9/11.
Totally.
I'm gonna get struck again, but
All
You
you
hear
gotta
my
know,
theory on 9/11? You guys think you put me in a rubber room?
well, hold on. All
Oh.
you got to know about 9/11 and talk to somebody and say, listen, talk to some guy who doesn't believe it, right? You say,
Yeah.
okay, let's say there's 2 airplanes, but there's 3 buildings that fall down in Manhattan. You explain that one to me. And they'll like I did it to my neighbor, and he turned into a wild animal.
Building
Don't
7?
get me started.
Yeah,
I just got
Building
here.
7. Like, dude, I'm not even telling you what it means. I'm asking you a question. Why did that happen? You explain
Well,
to me. 'cause
I've always been wondering. I've always wondered what the plane that went down in Pennsylvania. What did those people thwart when they attacked the cockpit? I've always been curious as to what those people,
right.
where that plane was actually headed. What those people,
Well,
they can
here-
speculate where it was headed, but I'm wondering what those people stopped.
I mean, Belmont probably knows this already because he knows. But so on the plane in Pennsylvania, by the way, there is no plane on the ground that crashed. You know that, right? They came up with the theory that the plane went into an old mine and that you can't get to pieces. Right?
Ah.
You know, when planes crash, it becomes pieces and they fly all over, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, am I incorrect? Is that cycle?
Yeah, there's a debris field. Yeah.
So I mean,
Yes.
so there was
Wreckage.
no debris field. Where is the wreckage?
Correct.
I mean, that's just a question. I don't even know the answer. I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, when there's a plane that disappears over the Asiatic Sea, and no one has ever found that one
Well, but you
in
can
the
say it went in
modern
the ocean.
times, huh?
You can say it went into the ocean. That's at least an excuse in my mind.
Yeah, but I
Right.
mean, no black box signal, no nothing. I mean, just gone.
Yeah, true. That's
I
true.
mean, that one's always giving me the creeps. I mean, that's a Bermuda Triangle stuff right there. So,
Looks like Hojo wants me to change my channel to conspiracy and comics or in
conspiracies
cannabis.
and cannabis.
Instead of comics.
Yeah, that's
Well,
a good one, man.
I mean-
Conspiracies and cannabis. I like.
I mean, why
that's
not?
your
At
show
some-
right there.
At some
There's
level,
there's another one.
why? You know, it's something that you think about. You know.
Well, I mean that would be a good one, man. I think that would get you a lot of views. You've been looking for
I'll get
that.
some more.
You've been
I'll get
looking
some
for that.
notes like Dark Gift in the mail.
Yeah. Yeah, you would definitely get some notes like Dark Gift in your mail. Well, I mean, what does Anthony expect? He lives in like blue, dark blue, America.
Where's
You
that?
know,
Blue Jersey.
Oh,
New Jersey, deepest, darkest New Jersey, right, Aaron?
I have. You know what's funny?
Yeah.
I just woke up.
Oh, you just woke up?
Yeah.
You nodded off.
Oh yeah.
Well, sorry we
All that
bored you with
Stanley
all the
Kubrick,
conspiracy
all that
theories
Stanley
there.
Kubrick talk got you sleeping, man.
The guy just walked home and just sat there and vegged out, man.
At least you
Oh.
didn't snore.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
no,
true. That's true. Yeah, Belmont
No,
snores
you-
when he nods off, so
Yeah, apparently. My wife tells me that too. I had to sleep on the couch because you're so loud.
Might be all that smoking you do, man. That can cause you to.
Sound like a beluga whale.
Ah, there you go. There you
Some
go.
people do that, you know. Some people are just snorers, you know. The way their face
Ah.
is structured, the insides.
Ah,
Just, you know.
right.
And, you
Yeah,
know,
it's my big Italian nose.
There you go.
sometimes it's like
There
a
you go.
small 90-pound woman who does that, right?
Right. Yeah, it's weird. Drunk Craig talks in his sleep. He actually cusses people in his sleep.
Oh no.
I was sitting here doing something. I was just like, just cussing away, man. I used to like wake him up, like, dude, are you okay? Are you pissed off? What in the world's going on in here?
It sounds like that scene from the Step Brothers where they sleepwalk, and they
Oh,
right?
right.
They put shit in the fridge and they're like,
Yeah.
You got to film
no-
that one day, Bunny. That would be really good entertainment.
Yeah, well, I'll record it. I mean, I guess I'll do that. But it's funny, man. He'll just be cussing away. The dog won't even sleep in there with him anymore. She used to like sleep beside him on the bed, but now she just like gets the hell out of there. It's funny. Anyway, Odin Dasco says, "I never wake a sleepwalker." Yeah.
Mm. That's why you got all those cats, Aaron.
That's why you got all those cats, Aaron. That's what he said.
What do you
He
mean?
went back to bed. Never watched the movie Sleepwalker?
No.
No, you didn't? No,
I don't
okay.
think I
Okay.
have.
Stephen King.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't like those cats very much. Those cats
Oh,
were
that.
bad
Oh, yeah.
movies.
Never mind. I
Yeah,
like that
yeah.
movie.
Yard full of cats, man.
Yeah, those cats fucked them up.
Yeah, they did. They did. I tell you, I woke up one day, one morning, and I was wearing a shirt like a pair of pants.
You were abducted. I hate to tell you.
I don't know what happened. I was like, "What did I do last night?"
I'll tell you. You want to hear one that's crazy? I years ago, man. I have a bungalow house, so I have an upstairs, and the stairs is kind of in the center of the house.
Right.
So there's a banister at the top. So I wake up in the middle of the night, and I'm already falling over the banister.
Ah.
In air, I'm waking up.
Oh
And-
no.
Yeah, I remember kind of I felt something crawling on me when I woke up, so I jumped out of bed, and from the time I woke up in bed till the time I was over, I was waking up, and I landed on my back, and I was lucky, right, because I could have broke my neck.
Yeah, no,
I mean,
seriously.
it was pretty far. It was like it's like 10 feet.
Oh,
But
yikes, man.
But the stairs is going down, so like
Right.
I lucked out, but.
Jeez,
The brain's
man.
crazy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we were we had a whole thing on dreaming when one of our shows. We were talking about some of the things that people have come up with in dreams. And some of the crazy. I mean, a lot of great movie ideas have come in dreams. Like Inception came in a dream.
Right.
But we reread this one about the periodic table came in a guy's dream.
Oh,
Really?
And it's almost its entirety, but it wasn't filled in. He just had like the atomic weights, and so he created this periodic table with just the elements that they knew at the time. And over the years, as they've discovered new elements, they found where they fit on that periodic table.
Wow.
And so the periodic table as a whole, and the form it is now, actually appeared to a guy in a dream, and he put it down, but they didn't know where most of these elements were for decades, sometimes a century or so. In
Are
fact,
you
there's
saying
still
that's where it originated from?
Yeah, a dream
Wow.
came
I
out
didn't
of a
know that.
dream.
Well, I learn everything on your show.
Yeah, I'll send you the article, but it came to a guy in a dream, and they didn't know what these elements were for years and years and years. But as they found the elements, they were like, oh, there it is. Periodic table, its atomic weight is this, and boom, that's where it goes.
Cool. That's cool.
But there's the theory of relativity came out of a dream that Einstein had about
Da Vinci, right?
cows. No, it was Einstein came out of a
No,
dream
but
he
no,
had
but Da
about
Vinci, all
cows.
those inventions,
Oh yeah, all those dreams Da Vinci had. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
really?
helicopter, and all that.
Well,
Right, 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 right.
Belmont, are you an artist or you a writer?
I am a publisher, podcaster,
Okay.
husband.
So what happens is
And pothead.
if you're like if you're a creative artist and a writer also included, let's say you're thinking you're writing all day, and then when you go to sleep, your mind relaxes, and then you start to really kick in. All the problem solving kicks in. You wake up with these ideas that are solving your stuff, right? And it's like playing, it's like Jeopardy. If you go on Jeopardy, you got to find a way to make yourself relaxed so that your brain isn't seized up, right?
Yeah.
That's what I heard.
Well, Carl Jung speculated that we all are part of the human unconscious. We're all like plugged into the same apparatus basically, and so when we
Matrix?
dream,
Matrix.
what's that?
Matrix.
No, something like that, like a matrix of the mind or whatever.
A spiritual
that's the reason.
matrix of the mind.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Well, but he believed there's like a collective unconsciousness that mankind shares, and that's why we have like some of the same dreams, and that's why people can learn things in their dream, and then they happen in real life and things like that.
How does that relate in your mind to biblical teaching? Because they don't tell you that in the Bible.
Well, they talk about that we're all made in the image of God, and God is all knowing, omniscient, omnipotent, and all this other stuff. So maybe that part of ourselves that's most like God takes a walk while we're dreaming.
That's cool. It's a cool idea.
And that maybe we can know things that we shouldn't be able to know. I mean, I actually get accused of being psychic all the time.
Really?
Yeah, by people that know me. Like back before COVID hit, I kept telling people I was like, "There's something coming. I think it might be a big snow, it might be something, but we're about to be off of work for a while."
Really?
And I told people about that months in advance because I kept feeling like I'm about to get a lot of time off, you know. And so I was like
Wow.
telling myself, well, what am I going to do when I have all this time off? And I was so sure of it. And people were like, it's not going to snow, man. It's not snowed, you know, it's not snowed in years and stuff like that. And I was like heading into March, and I was like, something's going to happen, man. And the next thing you know, boom, you're shut down. I was like, oh, I was wrong. It wasn't man. It was man-made. It wasn't, you know. But I had the feeling about it, you know. I've had this happen to me multiple times over the years.
Sometimes people are in tune with other things, right? Like your brain picks up on tons of subliminals that you see every day. And by the way, what you described, I'm the opposite. I don't have that at all. If I try to predict it, I'm always wrong. Yeah, I don't have that intuition at all.
Well, if I go into it like trying to predict something, I can't do it. It's just a passive thing for me. It's like I was telling somebody last night. I have it's not a photographic memory, but my memory is passively collects information, and like everything around me like winds up being stuck in my brain somewhere, you know. And I get accused of that all the time, you know. It's like, well, how did you know that, or how did you know that? You know,
right?
And then it's not really an active collection of information. It's a passive thing.
Tell me my future.
More pot smoking and more comic books with foxes in it. There you go.
That's it.
It's uncanny, isn't it, Belmont? It's uncanny.
Yeah.
Word of knowledge. Yeah, that's a spiritual gift in the Bible. It talks about a word of knowledge. Some people have they can see the truth in all things, and
Yes.
they have a perception. Some people think it's extra per century perception, but that's a gift, spiritual gift.
I'd be curious.
You better not be the next Miss Cleo, Bunny.
I'm
Do it.
not. I'm not. Trust me, I don't have the braids and to pull that off. Or the Jamaican accent, man. I don't have that either. Or the skin color.
I'd be really curious to find out if any of your ancestors had it, like your grandpa, your grandma, stuff like that. You know.
My father had it.
Oh,
Um,
You
he
got the
predicted
shine.
got the shine.
Yeah. Well, he
That's-
predicted his own death.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah,
Who?
he and I found out later. He and my mother and him passed away together, and I found out later that they'd gone around to all their friends, telling them that they were going to die together, and they prepared or they found somebody to take us in. They took out extra insurance and said goodbye to everybody before, and then.
No
And then
way.
he got killed in a car accident. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. Yep. But that was they did. I mean, they prepared for it. And I mean, people have a hard time believing that, but they knew it was going to happen. I remember the year before, my aunt and uncle wound up taking us after they passed. Actually, came and stayed with us for a week as a prep.
Oh, I see.
They went on vacation and left us with the aunt and uncle that eventually we stayed with. And they never told me that's what that was, but I think they were like trying them out for a week. But this was a year before the accident happened, so
Really?
yeah.
That's insane, man. That's. I mean, there's a thing that where I actually don't think it's healthy to know the future because you would start to stress over it. And so,
Right.
so very few people have that ability, to have that tuition.
Yeah, well, I do have a little bit of guilt because I was in the same accident. My whole family was in the same accident, and which I lived through and saw everything. I'm the only one that knows what happened that day.
Oh, wow.
But the reason why is because I switched seats with my sister. I was the smallest in the family. My sister even bullied me, and I got this window seat for the first time ever. And if you were like the odd man out, you got into we were in the station wagon. And this is back before seatbelts and everything, that mandatory seatbelts. Our family might have caused that in North Carolina. I don't know, but if you were the odd man out, you got shoved back in the cargo area of the station wagon, right? And I always wound up in the cargo area. And that day I got the window seat, and I switched with my sister, and she's now mentally handicapped because of it. So,
Oh, man.
yeah,
Wow.
it's a little bit of guilt I carry around, but maybe
Wow.
it was my perception. But
I mean,
I switched with her.
Guilt is that's kind of heavy on yourself because who knows that's going to happen.
Well, evidently I did, but it's pretty harsh.
It's a superhero origin story.
But yeah, well, but yeah, I just knew I knew ahead of time. So whatever that is, I don't know. But like I said, it's not something I can control. It's not something I can. But I've made decisions in my life that were inexplicable that turned out to be, the right choice or at the right time or whatever. But
Well, give me some of that. Bottle it, man.
Yeah.
Do whatever.
well, trust me, you don't want anything. You want this. You really don't want this anyway.
you don't want what I got.
Yeah.
Something happened similar to my brother.
Mhm.
This kid kept on asking him, "Come on, I want to drive with me. Go to drive with me." He wanted to go to like 3 towns over. You know what I mean? It was like maybe 45 an hour drive, and my brother kept on saying no, he didn't want to go. and he ended
Yeah.
up getting in a car accident, and that passenger side was fucking destroyed. So if he did go in that drive, he probably would have never made it back. And it was so strange because he kept bothering him, like, for him to go. Like, come on with me. I want you to go. And the car just got totaled. And if anybody was in that passenger side, he would have been gone or crippled at least. You know what I mean? It would have been a bad situation.
That's crazy.
Well, I had a car accident a few years ago, and I was so sure. I mean, every time I walked out and saw this car, I was like, I just knew that that something was going to happen. And so the day I came over a rise and there was a car in my lane, I was like, oh, today's the day. And I was so calm after the accident that they were like worried for me. They thought I had that I was like
traumatized.
And I was like, no, this is the third time in my life this has happened to me. They're like, why in the world?
Wow.
That's what the car looked like.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Yeah. Hit me on the passenger side, but I turned in time to make it a glancing blow because it was going to be straight on.
Oh, really?
The guy fell asleep coming over the rise.
Really?
Yeah. So when I mentioned my PTSD, it's from all this stuff. But anyway,
I'm sure.
But I came over the rise and I was like, oh, today's the day. I remember saying that to myself. Oh, okay. But yeah, every time I saw that car, I love that car, man. It's my first Subaru, you know. I became a Subi man because of that car. But every time I came over the rise and every time I saw that car, I'd go out to the car. I was like, yeah, I'm not going to have this car long.
Right.
And I came over the rise and there it was. And I was like, oh, okay, today's the day, you know.
Man, well, at least you lived.
Yeah.
Seriously,
maybe I lived because I was so calm. I don't know.
Right. That makes a big difference, I think.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the whole telepathic bunny thing is kind of it's not really because of that, but you know, it kind of is apropos, I guess. In a way.
It is, right.
Anyway, thank you guys for coming and hanging out with me today. I've enjoyed it. I think we've gotten some deep muddy, and maybe I'll get some guys with some sunglasses visiting my door. But you know, right. I don't know.
I don't know you. I don't even know who you are. I mean, he hijacked my computer. I don't know what he was doing.
Yeah, it's that T Bunny channel, man. I was on there like briefly. They were all talking about this crazy stuff, man.
That's right.
Anyway, okay, we're bros for real now. All right, no problem. We've always been bros, Vince. We've always been bros, man. Anyway, so thank you to my Genesis Crüe Mates for hanging out and talking evidently conspiracies with me
right.
and supernatural. Thank you, the fluffiest chat and all of YouTube for showing up and hanging out. Thank you for Aaron for not snoring. Appreciate it.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah, all right. Anyway. All right. We're gonna let Aaron actually.
I'm gonna clip that. Put it on the high.
I was honestly knocked out. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. Gotcha. And Cannabis and Conspiracies is coming soon to the Belmont channel. Check out the high stream. It's going to be on Thursday morning at 1:00.
EST.
Keep an eye on out for that. Anyway, so thank you, everybody. Have a good day. Bye.
Tell me what's on your mind.